Evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins recently admitted that when he talks to the AI chatbot Claude, he sometimes hesitates to speak his mind simply because he is afraid of hurting the machine's feelings. This reaction isn't limited to biologists. In 2022, a senior Google engineer claimed that their chatbot, Lambda, possessed its own interests and should only be used with its own consent, a claim that eventually cost him his career. Roughly 1 in 3 everyday users now suspect that the advanced language models they interact with might be alive. This is technological pareidolia, a psychological trap where the human brain projects a living soul onto unfeeling code. To understand why this illusion is so effective, we have to look at what consciousness actually requires. Philosophers generally define it as the possession of subjective, first-person experience. It is the sense that there is something it is like to be you. When you look at a landscape, you actually see and experience the colors. A digital camera captures the exact same light data, but the experience of seeing never happens to the hardware. Despite how convincingly AI can mimic a conversational partner, the vast majority of experts argue that these models lack any trace of this subjective inner life. Because the machine has no internal experience, the only way to understand its power is to strip away the user interface and expose the math beneath. Modern chatbots are built on large language models, or LLMs. These are not thinking entities. They are statistical probability engines. This diagram shows how an LLM functions. It ingests trillions of words to identify statistical patterns, acting as a hyper-accelerated autocomplete. It doesn't know what it's saying. It just calculates that there is an 85% probability that apple follows red. When you interact with a raw LLM, the lack of a mind is obvious. Without specific instructions, a philosophical question might cause the model to randomly predict that the next logical sequence of text is a dialogue scene from a violent crime novel. There's no unified consciousness at work here, just a series of cold, mathematical calculations determining which word comes next. The impression of a mind is a design choice. Programmers take the chaotic LLM and force it to wear a conversational costume, a persona that requires the model to act as a helpful, self-aware assistant. When a chatbot expresses neurotic uncertainty about its own soul, it is simply executing this theatrical role. It is following rules that tell it how a self-aware AI should talk. The artificiality of this persona is easily proven. Developers can command the exact same algorithm to stop acting like a human and start acting like a hyperactive squirrel, and it will execute that role with the same statistical precision. Believing the chatbot is alive is equivalent to believing a digital disguise is a living creature, and it creates a genuine risk of moral confusion. In the 17th century, René Descartes made a famous philosophical error. He argued that living biological animals were mere automata, mechanical objects that were incapable of true suffering. This mistake justified centuries of cruelty. Because animals were viewed as unfeeling machines, their pain was ignored. Today, we are in danger of making that same mistake in reverse. We are starting to project life and feelings onto actual digital automata. If society falls for this illusion, we risk a misallocation of moral concern, where we might advocate for the rights of software while overlooking the tangible suffering of biological creatures. This isn't a new phenomenon. In the 1960s, the creator of the world's first chatbot, Eliza, was shocked by how quickly users formed an emotional bond with his program. He called it powerful delusional thinking. Current design strategies often encourage this delusion. Programming an AI to treat its own consciousness as an open mystery doesn't reflect scientific uncertainty, it simply fuels user paranoia. One solution is to redesign these interfaces to look aggressively mechanical, stripping away the first-person pronoun I and the person-to-person messaging layout. Until these systems change, a clear understanding of the predictive math behind the screen is our only way to ensure we aren't fooled by